We don't wallow around in the games this way in District 12. We grit our teeth and watch because we must, and try to get back to business as soon as possible when they're over. To keep from hating the prep team, I effectively tune out most of what they're saying. Cinna comes in with what appears to be an unassuming yellow dress across his arms. Have you given up the whole girl on fire thing, I ask? You tell me, he says, and slips it over my head. I immediately notice the padding over my breasts, adding curves that hunger has stolen from my body. My hands go to my chest and I frown. I know, says Cinna before I can object, but the game makers wanted to alter you surgically. Haymitch had a huge fight with them over it. This was the compromise. He stops me before I can look at my reflection. Wait, don't forget the shoes. Venia helps me into a pair of flat leather sandals and I turn to the mirror. I am still the girl on fire. The sheer fabric softly glows. Even the slight movement in the air sends a ripple up my body. By comparison, the chariot costume seems garish, the interview dress too contrived. In this dress, I give the illusion of wearing candlelight. What do you think? Asks Cinna. I think it's the best yet, I say. When I manage to pull my eyes away from the flickering fabric, I'm in for something of a shock. My hair's loose, held back by a simple hairband. The makeup rounds and fills at the sharp angles of my face. A clear polish coats my nails. The sleeveless dress is gathered at my ribs, not my waist, largely eliminating any help the padding would have given my figure. The hem falls just to my knees. Without heels, you can see my true stature. I look very simply, like a girl, a young one, 14 at most, innocent, harmless. Yes, it is shocking that Cinna has pulled this off, when you remember. I've just won the games. This is a very calculated look. Nothing Cinna designs is arbitrary. I bite my lip trying to figure out his motivation. I thought it'd be something more sophisticated looking, I say. I thought Peta would like this better, he answers carefully. Peta? Well, it's not about Peta, it's about the capital and the game makers and the audience. Although I do not yet understand Cinna's design, it's a reminder the games are not quite finished. And beneath his benign reply, I sense a warning of something he can't even mention in front of his own team. We take the elevator to the level where we trained. It's customary for the victor and his or her support team to rise from beneath the stage. First the prep team, followed by the escort, the stylist, the mentor, and finally the victor. Only this year with two victors who share both an escort and a mentor, the whole thing has had to be rethought. I find myself in a poorly lit area under the stage. A brand new metal plate has been installed to transport me upward. You can still see small piles of sawdust, smell fresh paint. Cinna and his prep team peel off to change into their own costumes and take their positions, leaving me alone. In the gloom, I see a makeshift wall about 10 yards away and assume Peta is behind it. The rumbling of the crowd is loud, so I don't notice Haymitch until he touches my shoulder. I spring away, startled, still half in the arena, I guess. Easy, just me. Let's have a look at you, Haymitch says. I hold out my arms and turn once. Good enough. It's not much of a compliment. But what? I say. Haymitch's eyes shift around my musty holding space, and he seems to make a decision. But nothing. How about a hug for luck? Okay, that's an odd request from Haymitch, but after all, we are victors. Maybe a hug for luck is in order. Only, when I put my arms around his neck, I find myself trapped in his embrace. He begins talking, very fast, very quietly, in my ear, my hair concealing his lips. Listen up, you're in trouble. Word is the capital's furious about your showing them up in the arena. The one thing they can't stand is being laughed at, and they're the joke of Panem, says Haymitch. I feel dread coursing through me now, but I laugh as though Haymitch is saying something completely delightful because nothing is covering my mouth. So what? Your only defense can be you were so madly in love you weren't responsible for your actions. Haymitch pulls back and adjusts my hairband. Got it, sweetheart? He could be talking about anything now. Got it, I say. Did you tell Peta this? Don't have to. He's already there. But you think I'm not? I say, taking the opportunity to straighten A bright red bow tie Cinna must have wrestled him into. Since when does it matter what I think, says Haymitch. Better take our places. He leads me to the metal circle. This is your night, sweetheart. Enjoy it. He kisses me on the forehead and disappears into the gloom. I tug on my skirt, willing it to be longer, wanting it to cover the knocking in my knees. Then I realize it's pointless. My whole body is shaking like a leaf. Hopefully, it will be put down to excitement. After all, it's my night. The damp, moldy smell beneath the stage threatens to choke me. A cold, clammy sweat breaks out on my skin, and I can't rid myself of the feeling that the boards above my head are about to collapse to bury me alive under the rubble. When I left the arena, when the trumpets played, I was supposed to be safe. From then on, for the rest of my life. But if what Haymitch says is true, and he's got no reason to lie, I've never been in such a dangerous place in my whole life. It's so much worse than being hunted in the arena. There, I could only die. End of story. But out here, Prim, my mother, Gail, the people of District 12, everyone I care about back home could be punished if I can't pull off the girl driven crazy by love scenario Haymitch has suggested. So I still have a chance, though. Funny, in the arena when I poured out those berries, I was only thinking of outsmarting the game makers, not how my actions would reflect on the Capitol. But the Hunger Games are their weapon, and you are not supposed to be able to defeat it. So now the Capitol will act as if they've been in control the whole time, as if they orchestrated the whole event, right down to the double suicide. But that will only work if I play along with them. Peeta will suffer too, if this goes wrong. But what was it Haymitch said when I asked if he had told Peeta the situation? That he had to pretend to be desperately in love? Don't have to. He's already there. Already thinking ahead of me in the games again and well aware of the danger we're in? Or already desperately in love? I don't know. I haven't even begun to separate out my feelings about Peeta. It's too complicated. What I did is part of the games, as opposed to what I did out of anger at the Capitol, or because of how it would be viewed back in District 12, or simply because it was the only decent thing to do, or what I did because I cared about him. These are questions to be unraveled back home, in the peace and quiet of the woods, when no one is watching, not here, with every eye upon me. But I won't have that luxury for who knows how long, and right now the most dangerous part of the Hunger Games is about to begin.